Okay, now the muslin is ready. Before the draping, we need to draw some guidelines for draping. So first we draw the grand line for center front, 1 inch from the edge of the muslin. Then divide the muslin in half at the center front. Establish a line to guide the bust level line. Draw the crosswise line, indicate the bust level line. Then we need to measure the apex to the center front. And mark it on the bust level line. Then measure from the side seam to the apex along the bust level line, and then plus 1/8 for ease. Mark it at the bust level line of the muslin. Then we need to find the middle of the side seam and apex and mark it. Through the apex, draw the lengthwise line. Through the middle point, draw another lengthwise line. Normally we call this line T line. So in the following steps, I will call this line T lines. Okay, so as guidelines for draping. So before we put the muslin on the form, we need to fold the 1 inch extension at the center front. Fold back the 1 inch extension. Press it. First, pin the apex of the muslin on the apex of the form. Normally, we use 2 pins to pin from opposite direction to fix the support, the apex. In that way, could invent the muslin shifting. Okay? And then we pin the side seam at the intersection of bust level line and the side seam. Bust level line and side seam. Then we pin the chest. Smooth up the muslin and pin the chest at the center front. Okay. Okay. After we pin the 3 points, we need to observe the muslin. It should hand straight. The center front of the muslin align to the center front of the form. Okay, after you check it's straight down, the muslin is straight down, we could fix the bust level line. So don't forget there is 1/8 for ease at the bust level line. So we establish the ease evenly at the bust level line. Okay, then double check. The bodice should like a box on the form. That means the lengthwise is straight down. Okay, perfect. Then we straight down the T line to the form. Straight down, use your fingers to straight down the T line to the west. And fix the T line at the west. Okay, use 2 fins. And clip from the edge of the muslin to the west along the T line. Leave about ½ inch, clip to the ½ inch to the west line. Okay? And then give a pitch for ease at the west. And pin the intersection of side seam and the west. Okay. Double check the grain. Okay, all the muslin grain is correct. Okay, then we pin, smoothly pin the tummy at the center front. And you can notice that there is a hollow space at the breast. There is a hollow space at the breast, so that the grain is smooth. Okay, check it and continue to pin the center front at the west. Okay. Then you can notice there's axis fabric at the waist. So we crease the apex lengthwise line, crease it, okay? And pick up the axis fabric at the waist and pin them at the waist. Pin the axis fabric at the waist. Please make sure the apex lengthwise line is in the middle. Okay, so far the grain still very good, smooth. Then hold up the fabric, smooth up to the bottom of armhole and pin the intersection of side seam and the bottom of armhole. Then hold up, use your fingers, smooth up from the bottom of armhole, smooth up, and pin the intersection of shoulder and armhole. Okay. So you can see the grain still very smooth at this part. The whole grain is smooth. Okay. And then we continue to pin the neckline. We smooth up the center front along the center front of the form and pin the intersection of neckline and the center front. Okay. Then cut a rectangular from 1 inch above the neckline. The cut should 1 inch deep and upward to the top edge of the muslin. Okay. And then smooth up, clip in. Smooth up, clip in. smooth up, creep in, till to the intersection of the neckline and the shoulder line, and pin the intersection of neckline and shoulder line. Okay, so you could notice that there's no ease, no torting, no pulling at the necklines. So just make sure the muslin is smooth at this area. And now you also could notice that there is excess fabric at the shoulder. So the same way as like the waist, we need to pitch up the excess fabric and pin them together. Okay, now double check the grain of all the muslin. So far, we almost to finish to drop the important point of the front. So we could notice that the grain very smooth all over the front. So you could see we pitch up the excess fabric and pin them together at the waist, and pitch up the excess fabric and pin them together at the shoulder. We call this as dot. Dot, okay? Then we need to mark the important point and mark the important lines of the form. The first, we need to cross mark the intersection, neckline, and the center front. Okay, cross mark. Then dot, 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 dot along the neckline. Dot, dot, and along the neckline. Okay, cross mark the intersection of neckline and the shoulder line. Cross mark the shoulder line and the dot leg. Fold back the dot, and another side cross mark the shoulder line and the dot leg. Cross mark the shoulder line and the ridge of armhole. After we marked the important point and the line, double check it's correct, and we could remove the muslin to the table. We keep the two pins, the dot pins, in the muslin and remove the other pins. Okay, we remove the muslin on the table.